Hello. My name is Philippa Fabry, and I am here to give you some hope and some tips and strategies on how to help your children, or actually to help you help your kids with homework. So if you're one of those parents that you are almost at your wits' end, homework is stressful, it's taking too long, it ends up in a battle of wills, sometimes in tears. If you are feeling like overwhelmed and you are dreading having to do homework at the end of every day or when you're getting home from work, I'm hoping that this little webinar, this little chat is going to be some hope, is going to bring some hope to you. So I'm coming from the point of being a parent and having to negotiate homework in the afternoons with my own children. Some of those not very pleasant, if I have to be honest. And I'm coming from the point of the teacher. Being a foundation phase teacher and a remedial therapist, I have also had to dish out homework. And basically, when teachers are giving out homework, there's usually a reason why. It's not just for the sake of giving parents homework to do with their kids, but there's generally a reason for it. And so I am coming from wearing both hats. I'm wearing the parent hat, so I'm hearing what parents are saying with regards to homework. And I'm also identifying with teachers, realizing that homework has to be done. And, it's one of those things that, if it is done and if it is, I suppose, received with the right attitude and with the right, I suppose, incentive, then it can end well. It can be something that you look forward to doing with your children. So I'm speaking to parents mainly here. If you're a parent, and as I said, you are struggling with homework in the afternoon, it's causing a bit of stress and anxiety, then listen up. This is for you. So let us look at some of the mistakes. I think if homework is not going well, generally there's a reason for it, and we need to look at what is going on, what is happening in the home that is causing, or what are the triggers that could be causing a little bit of unhappiness with homework. So what I'm hearing parents saying is that, the homework is taking far too long. My child is in grade 1 or grade 2, and we are sometimes spending up to an hour, 2 hours trying to do homework in the afternoon or in the evening. And how long should homework take? Because me as the parent, a parent is saying, I feel that this is too long. 2 hours is way too long for my child in foundation phase to be doing homework. The other thing that parents are saying is that sometimes the homework is coming home without clear instructions. And there's an argument between the child and the parent with regards to how this homework is meant to be done. So again, parent is saying one thing, the child is saying another thing, and maybe teachers aren't sending the right instructions home, or there isn't a clear directive coming from the school. So those are two main things that I'm hearing coming from parents. So to address those things, I think if homework is taking too long and your child is sitting way beyond their ability with homework, I think that is where you parents need to communicate with teachers. I think you need to be honest and say, we start homework at 6 o'clock, and 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we're still busy doing homework. And it's not, it's really not going well. The child is tired. I'm tired. It's been a long day at work, and now I'm having to sit and do homework. My child needs to be going to bed. We're trying to do supper. We're trying to do homework with the other children. It's just too much that we're trying to get through. So to answer that one, I think parents need to approach the school and email the teacher, or send a note in the homework diary if you have a homework diary that you're communicating to the teacher with, and just be honest and say, how long should homework be taking? And, if you feel it's taking too long, well, then I'm hoping that the teacher will reply to say, okay, I understand. I think if homework is taking you 2 hours, I think do as much as you can. And after 1 hour is done or half an hour is done, you just close the books. You send me a note to say, we've done what we can, but, homework has taken too long. We've tried our best. Because every school should have a homework policy. That policy allows teachers to know, okay, this is the kind of homework I should be sending home. This is how long it should take the children. And these are the days that homework is to be sent home. I mean, I think, having homework on a weekend or on a Friday afternoon might be a bit difficult. So I never used to send homework home on a weekend unless it was a project or unless they were studying for a test that was happening the next week. So the homework policy is a guideline that parents can ask to see that will stipulate how many or how long homework should take your child, depending on what grade they're in. So have a look at that. If the school has got a homework policy, that will be a guideline for you. And then I think if homework, is ending in tears and fights and, it's not pleasant, we need to look at why, what is happening after school. So, sometimes children are tired, they've played sport all afternoon, and then on the way home from school, you're running errands, you're going to the shops, you're popping in at the auto bank, you're going to visit, auntie so-and-so to drop this off, and you're going to collect dry cleaning there, and maybe you're going to, running errands in the afternoon or running errands at home on the way home. It delays the homework even more so. So by the time your child is getting home, they've had school, then they've had extramurals and aftercare, and then they've still had to run errands in the car, and they're tired and they're hungry and they're just done. So that moms and dads not to kind of, put too much on your kids at the end of a long day. Talking about overscheduling, we do sometimes overschedule our kids and have something on every single afternoon. And then on top of all those extramurals, they still have homework and they still have academics to do. So I think just to be aware of how long things take and how long it takes to get home and get into the homework routine. So if you can imagine your child has been sitting in a classroom for 6-7 hours a day, then they've gone to aftercare or they've gone to sport, and then they've sat in the car, and now they've come home, and sometimes 6-7 o'clock at night, and now they still got to do homework. So just obviously to be aware of that and to give some grace in that respect. And also, if your child is on medication for ADHD like Ritalin or Concerta or Contramol, that has also worn off by the time they've come home. And so to expect them to sit now at a desk and to still concentrate and do homework, you might be expecting a little bit much there. They might need a little top up. If they have had a diagnosis of ADHD and they really do struggle with concentration and distractibility and inattention, maybe speak to the doctor about having a little top up that they can take so that homework can be done as effectively as possible. And then make sure that you've given them something to eat, that they've had a snack, because our kids get hungry. So, for them to come home and they haven't eaten, and then they're tired and they're hangry. We know what hangry is, hungry and angry at the same time. Make sure they've had something to eat, not a sugary snack, but something like egg on toast or a piece of fruit and yogurt or something like that, before you try and give them homework. I mean, you can imagine what you're going to be like if you're trying to do work and you're hungry and you haven't had anything to eat. So, just give them something to eat so that they have got some fuel to use. And then, what, moms and dads, our kids pick up our own stress. So, if we've had a hard day at work or we're stressed because of work, and now we've come home and we are stressed already and we're anxious already about homework and other stuff that's going on in our lives, our children pick up that stress. They pick up that anxiety. So If you're having a tough time, they're going to pick that up and they will have a tough time because they almost absorb your stress and anxiety. So you might need to take some time out before starting homework, or get someone else to come and do the homework for you. Maybe you take turns with a partner, and if you're having a tough time, they can come in and do the homework and vice versa, so that your child doesn't have to deal with you having a bad day or you having stress. I mean, we are human. We are dealing with a very stressful time at the moment, and we just need to be mindful of our children, taking on some of our emotional issues as well. So that's just some advice with regards to that. If your child also is struggling with schoolwork, so if they have a learning barrier, if they struggle with reading or writing, they will probably avoid doing homework at all costs, because it's challenging for them, or they don't want to be having to do something that's hard after school. They've sat and they've done school for 6-7 hours, and now they must do more school. And especially if they do struggle with school. Maths anxiety, or really, really struggling with maths and working with numbers, can have a big impact on a child's attitude towards doing homework if maths is part of the homework. So, if you are seeing that your child is struggling academically, specifically relating to reading, comprehension, spelling, writing, and maths, it might be a good idea to chat to the teacher and possibly look at an assessment there to see whether, if there is a significant learning barrier, what can the school do to accommodate your child in that way? Can homework be less? Can they be given different homework if necessary? So there are definitely things that, as parents, sure, we need to know what the child is struggling with so that we can get the help that they need. And there's no harm in asking the teacher if there is any accommodations or allowances if your child has a learning barrier. But we first need to find out if there is one. And that is really what Education Services does, is that we evaluate and we assess children who are struggling at school by doing an academic assessment, doing tests, standardized and diagnostic tests, looking at their reading, looking at their spelling, their written work, their comprehension, and their maths, because we want to know if there are gaps in their wall of knowledge. When you're building a wall, it's brick upon brick upon brick upon brick. And if there are holes in your wall because there are certain concepts that haven't been learned or haven't been consolidated, then we need to fill in those gaps. And that is what remedial does. Remedial is taking the child back to where those gaps began and filling in those holes in the wall, which is exactly what remedial does. So we are able to give you the information as parents where your child is lacking, help you to get support for your child, and we help teachers to support your child better in class. That is what Education Services does. So as we are moving along and we're going through the ropes of homework and tests and studying and projects and what have you, it's all about, how does your child tackle any expectation or any responsibility that is work related? Do they avoid it? Do they hide homework away? Do they lie about what they have to do? Do they go to their room and pretend to study or to pretend to do homework, but then they don't do it? These are all ways that children avoid or grapple with issues that they are trying to cope with at school. So as parents, the more we know about our children and what they need, the better we are able to support and give them the necessary tools and strategies that they need in order to be more independent as students. And what we also have been speaking about are the healthy habits that we want our children to develop. And these are habits that, it's not just about, as adults, we should have these habits, but our children are developing these habits too. And so things like being proactive, being able to plan ahead, being able to listen first, seek to understand, to understand and then put your own opinion forward, working as a team. These are all very, very important sort of 21st century habits that if we can start instilling these in our children in the early years, they will then use those habits as they go through high school, as they go through tertiary, and also when they are one day, in the world of work. So those habits, I can quickly just go through them now, very, very briefly. There are 7 of them. And the ones that I think we just need to be cognizant of is the first one, which is being proactive, knowing that I'm responsible, knowing that I must take the initiative, that I cannot wait for things to come to me. I need to find out if there's something I don't know, and I must check in with myself. Do I have everything that I need in order to be able to do the task at hand? The second one is to begin with the end in mind. So know, where am I going? What goals do I have? Planning ahead, knowing that I'm part of a team, I'm part of a class. It's not just me, myself, and I. The class is doing this task as part of this subject because we are going to be doing a test or an exam at the end of the year. So there's a progression of steps, I suppose you could say. So that is the second goal, which is begin with the end in mind. The third one is to be able to put first things first. So know when is work time, when is play time, when is eating time, when is school time, when is sport time. Just to be able to plan ahead and chunk your activities throughout the day. Also to know when it's time for bed. Sometimes as parents, we have to chase our children to get to bed. They just don't want to stop. They just go all the time. But for our children to be able to check in with themselves, hey, I'm tired now, I need to sleep now, I need to eat now, I need to work now. So being able to put things first and have a schedule, draw up a little schedule. The fourth one is to think win-win. And thinking win-win means that, again, we're part of a team, we collaborate together, we all have a role to play. And at the end of the day, I need to work as part of my team so that the team is successful. It's not just all about me. It's collaboration and teamwork. So that is the fourth habit, is to think win-win. The fifth habit is to seek first to understand. So I need to listen. I have 2 ears and only 1 mouth, meaning I need to listen more than I speak. So to be able to communicate well, to be able to negotiate well, to be flexible, but to listen, to be somebody who can listen and be empathetic, be compassionate, and then possibly give my opinion or say what I need to say going forward. The sixth one is synergize. And this one really talks about your animals or your people that work together as a team. So I'm thinking, when I say synergize, in my head, I'm thinking of a hyena being a pack animal. So the pack, everybody has a role to play. They work as a pack, they hunt as a pack, they sleep as a pack, they eat as a pack. And for children to also realize that they have a role to play in this pack. We work together to achieve a common goal, and I need to know my strengths, and I need to know what I need in order to do the work that is required. Simple, right? But not easy. And then the final habit is sharpen the saw. And really what that means is I need to know what I need to do in order to be on my game, in order to be the best that I can be. What do I need? Do I need extra help? Do I need tutoring? Do I need help with my spelling? What are the things that I need to improve my output as a student or as a learner in the classroom? And balance being key here. balance is all about, I need to work some, I need to play some, I need to rest some. And as long as I'm balanced, I'm not stressed, I'm not anxious. The minute we have children who are overworked, overscheduled, there's over planning happening, and they don't have a lot of time to have just downtime, that is when we often see lots of anxiety, lots of depression coming through. So just to be aware of that as well, and to watch for, burnout in our kids. As young as primary school, our children are burning out. So I just really wanted to say again, parents, you have this awesome opportunity and ability to see your children in many different situations. See them out of school, in school, on the sports field, on the stage, in the swimming pool, and you can see where your children are thriving and shining and where they are struggling. And where you see them struggling, if you can identify what the struggles are and get them some support, come and speak to us at Education Services. If you are not sure what kind of support your child needs, just come and have a chat. Just come and have a conversation with us. Let's look at what's happening. Let's unpack some of your concerns, and then hopefully, come up with a workable solution. Education Services is all about finding solutions. That's what we do. So that's all from me, Philippa Fabry. I hope you found this helpful. Please share it with somebody that could use the information, and keep a lookout for more of these little online bits of information. We really do want to help you as parents. We want to support teachers, and that's what we're all about. So until next time, all of the very, very, very best, and let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.